Another optimization is search engine optimization. There are, what is that exactly? Well, you know what a search engine is. Basically, you've probably used one. You go to Google or Yahoo or Bing, all search engines, to find stuff you're interested in out there on the web. So you type in a keyword or two or a phrase into the search field and a list comes up. And basically all these search engines do is they're just constantly searching the web. They're indexing the web, and they're pulling it into their database and they're putting stuff into lists so that, and what you want is you want your blog. If someone searches bread, back on the theme of bread, or whatever related to that, you want your blog to come up on the first page of that search field. That's what you ideally want. And it's hard to get there, but you can really maximize every possibility to do that. And I'm going to talk about some of the ways you can do that. But that's what a search engine is. And so search engine optimization is basically writing things and thinking about your blog with that in mind all the time. Writing in a way that search engines like, and the good news is that WordPress is already set up to embrace search engines. It basically invites them in, answers the door, invites them in, shows them everything: pages, tags, categories, posts, titles, all that stuff. And they leave with what they like, and they don't take everything. They look for things that match with the consistency, how well your tags are written, how consistently your tags are written. So good news is WordPress, and I'm sure a lot of the other blogging platforms are already set up quite well for dealing with that. But that said, you still have work to do. You can't just assume that WordPress, that a search engine is going to just come in. It'll come in. That's all WordPress is doing. It's inviting it in and showing them everything. What you want is them to come in and go, "Wow, love this place," and then that will pop you up higher on the search engine, on the lists, which is what you want. So, how do you do that? Well, write with content in mind. Write with content in mind. Think about what words are people going to use to search your topic. Every subject, every topic has words that are pretty common, and baking, people might be looking for the word recipe or the word wheat, different words. So think about, in your blog piece, what are the keywords that people are going to be searching for? And that said, if you write lots of blogs about those similar things, what you want to do is be consistent on how you write those tags in there. Tags are hugely important for search engine for SEO. They call it SEO. Tags have to be consistently written every time. So if you want to write baking wheat, and then the next day it's wheat baking, it confuses the search engine. It confuses them. You want to be consistent with how you write your tags, and you don't want to have a whole lot of them. 5 to 10 max. Don't go crazy. If you have a whole lot of them, the search engines will just ignore you. They'll just say, we don't even know what you are all about. We don't get you at all. So keep it simple, keep it consistent, keep it short on those tags, and you put the tags in. Right there on the right, as you're writing the post, there's a tag field there, all right? And you want to put in some categories. Categories are really important. They're good, and if you put one on your home page or on your front page, or basically on your sidebar there, people will actually be able to see your categories. If it's bread, then, if it's baking, then you might have bread, you might have muffins and different things under baking, and each one of those is a category. And you want to keep the categories pretty simple too. You don't want to get all really complicated and have thousands of things for people to come through. Keep it pretty simple. People will find you. And the search engines like that too. So another thing beyond tags that's critically important, is how you title your blog piece. Now, if you go for the oh my God, wow, and that's your title, oh my God, wow. Number one, search engines are going to ignore it because they don't even know what that means. But so are people. You know, in a search field, when they search for something, you know, if that does come up somehow, luckily, into a search field, they're not going to know what that means. They're not going to click on it. People, or even if they just sort of come across your blog or whatever, people are going through the web at such a fast pace. They're just scanning the. If you are an aggregate reader, if someone has followed you, has chosen to follow you and subscribe to your blog, and they are using an RSS reader to access that material, they're just scanning through all the blog titles. That's what they're doing. They're not reading, you know, they're just scanning, and oh my God, wow doesn't tell them anything. So be smart about how you title things, because not only do people love them, search engines love them. You know, search engines tend to, you know, scan just the top third of a page, and you know they're really looking for those keywords. You know, and another thing about the title is when you do come up on a search engine list, you know, only about 40 characters of each title gets displayed. So you want to make sure that you fit all the points you want to make in that title in 40 characters, so that when there's, you know, so when people are scanning a list from a search engine, they spot your thing right away. So that's important. Another thing to think about is maybe, you know, using words like action words like shock or new, anything that basically suggests that this is different. You know, there's something shocking, there's something interesting, there's something new. You know, people are more likely to click on it. You would be. So, but the thing is, you have to make sure you back it up once you're in there. Once they start reading you, there better be something new or something shocking. Make sure that it's not just you're just fooling them, because they'll get pissed off, and that's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that people are getting something from your blog, that you're doing a how-to or something they can walk away from. You know, that you're solving a problem for them, and that should be reflected in the title. That this is a how-to. This is a troubleshooting issue or something that will get their attention. The last thing about the actual what you can do in any blog is make sure your privacy settings are set to allow search engines to find you. You know, you can shut them out. I don't know why you'd want to do that. You know, if it's a private blog, it's a private blog. But if you really want people to read it, you know, go under settings, go under privacy, and click the button that says allow search engines to find me. Very important. And so make sure you do that. Now back to the human side of getting people to follow you and be loyal to you and love you and read your blogs. Another really important part of the people side of this is recognizing and remembering that this is a community you're building. You're part of a community of a certain, around a certain topic or a certain interest. And so conversations are happening around that. You don't want to be just this person who's always lecturing and talking but never answering anything. If someone posts a comment, you want to make sure that you have engaged with them, that you are responding to them, good or bad. Maybe they're bitching, maybe they're loving, whatever it is. Whenever possible, try to say something back to them. Maybe start conversations, you know, maybe join conversations that are already happening. You know, it's a community, and you want to make sure that you keep the conversation going and that you're part of the conversation out there or surrounding that topic that you've chosen to blog about. So just, you know, be sincere about it, and remember that, you know, it's all about helping each other. That's what communities do. So, you know, if you're out there hoping people link to you, and you know, in the blog post they link to your blog post from last week because it's amazing and it ties into what they're talking about, you want to make sure that you do the same back. You want to help them succeed. The whole point of this is to help each other succeed, because if you succeed, if they succeed, you succeed, and everybody, you know, everybody respects you. It's about getting respect and loyalty out there. Respect from what you post and all of that sort of thing, and the intelligence behind it, but also, you know, loyalty because you are helping them and they'll help you back. It's just that's a good philosophy in life, by the way, whether you're online or not. It's all about community and everybody getting along. speaking of links, how do you find people who are talking about things that kind of like what you're talking about? Well, WordPress has this new feature where it allows you to, as you're writing your blog piece, as you're writing it, it spots words and stuff in the blog piece and gives you recommended links right there on the same page as you're writing your blog. And so you just have to go under user and under settings under user, and it's right in there. Under your user personal settings. And so, and when you're on there, it recommends photos and links and all sorts of things. And it changes, and you can update it so that, if you write more stuff, you update it and it'll change some more. And then you can actually choose ones to include in your blog piece. And it can become a very rich thing. So all of a sudden, you're linking all sorts of places, and those people are going to find out about you. And that's just a great thing. It's not important who you link to. It's important who links to you. And that, the quality of who is linking to you will raise you up in the search engine status. Another important part about keeping people interested in what you have to say and in your blog is you need to blog all the time, frequently, if possible daily, at least 2 or 3 times a week. Keep it fresh, keep it new, keep it happening, keep people wanting to come back for more. If people keep coming back to your blog and it's the same old dead stuff that was there a month ago, they're going to think you're dead. They're going to go away. And you've lost that. You'll start to lose people. And you don't want to have that. You want to have as many visits to your site as possible because that helps your search engine optimization. So just remember that you're part of a community when you're blogging, and enjoy it. It should be great fun, and it should be exciting, just like when you go and hang out with friends and you're reading other people's stuff and they're sharing you and they're commenting, and it's a conversation. And remember, it's not how many how many followers you have, how many people subscribe to you. It's really the quality of the people who are following you. I'd rather have 100 really great followers who all are passionate about what I'm passionate about than 100,000 who really I don't know and who seem to be pretty much disinterested in what I have to say. So go for the quality people and enjoy the conversation. Take care.